Hey, how's it going? Um, it's not another day. I'm not going to work on the car today. What I want to kind of do is just rewind on how it ended up here, what happened to it, and the reason why I am going to restore this car, why I thought it was a good car to restore. I bought this car from a friend of mine. He owned it about 10 years. He bought it from a friend of his who I believe bought it from the original owner. I still have it's never been titled other than the original owner. What happened was the car was in a fire. It was in the garage. He had a battery charger on his workbench. It was back then just like this. The workbench was over there. The car was over here. I guess, went inside. The battery charger fell and caught fire. So it caught the whole back of the car on fire. And I guess by the time they put the fire out, between the fire damage and the water damage, the insurance company, I guess they just totaled it. He kept the car and he was going to redo it. That explains now the reason for that blue door over there. That explains the reason for that. So my buddy had it for about 10 years, didn't do anything with it. He was always busy working on everybody else's cars, getting their cars mint, to where he never had a chance really to get this car done. And to be honest, I looked at it and I was so overwhelmed with this car. I didn't even know where to start. That's how bad this car was. So this is about 5 years ago when I really looked at the car. Let's fast forward now to about 5 months ago. I got a call from him saying, hey Al, I'm gonna sell the car. I'm gonna sell Toasty. And they call it Toasty, and if you look at the other videos, it's because it was in a fire and it was just toasted. So he said he's gonna sell it. I said, let me come and take a look at it. I don't want to say yes or no over the phone and commit to something and go, oh my gosh, I made this huge mistake. So I went there the next day and I looked at the car. And I left there saying, let me think about it, because I didn't want to give him an answer and make a huge mistake. So 2 days goes by. I go back and look at it again. I walked through the whole car. I looked at this whole thing. And what I didn't tell you guys at the beginning was this car came with all the parts. It came with the quarter panels. It came with everything. The only thing that I had to get was the roof skin and the floor pan and a hood. I bought an SS hood for it. That's what it originally came with. It came with a Super Sport hood. So I said, we worked out kind of a deal where I ended up buying the car and I bring it here. It was sitting here for a little bit, but what I want to show you is one of the reasons why I wanted to restore it is because of this. Let's see if you can see it. It's an X55 car. When they first made the 69 Camaro, they didn't put the X code on it. They're called pre-coded cars. So you couldn't tell if a car was a real Super Sport or not. So they started coding them with an X code. They came out with an X44 code, which really is just kind of a basic Camaro. They came out with the X11 code. A lot of people think that's Super Sport. It's not. X11 is just a trim package. That's all it is. Then they started coding the big block cars. X22, that's a big block car. X55, that X22 is a big block Super Sport. Could be a rally sport, but I believe it's a Super Sport. X55, which is this car right here. So this is a real Super Sport right here. Right down to the original motor, tranny, and rear. This rear, if you look, you can see it's a BR code, and there's an E over here, if you can see it. The E stands for Eaton Posi. Right away you can look at it, so Eaton, E, it's got a Posi unit in it. The BR, this is a factory 308 gear. I thought it was 331s. It's actually 308s, Posi rear. That motor right there is a 354 valve, the high output 350 motor. turbo 350 tranny, basic tranny, basic turbo 350 tranny. What's also neat about this car, it's got a pretty good option, list. If you go down a list, you don't see it now, but it'll be there. It's a factory deluxe houndstooth interior, deluxe door panels, full gauge package, air conditioned car. It had the wiring to the back for rear speakers, so it had a stereo system in it. Couldn't tell you what kind because that's all gone. What else? It's got the power disc brakes up front. It's got a few little things here. Something else I want to show you. This right here, if you can see it, that's a proportioning valve. Super Sports came with that. They came with a split feed. It would come into here to a proportioning valve, right over here, somewhere. And then it would go up to the master cylinder, or right up front over there. Those are like a lot of the few little key things. That's why when I was starting to show this video, when I showed you this plate right here, Super Sport, they came with it. That's just a piece of metal that, on the other side, it's welded on the inside when it's assembled. When you order the package as a Super Sport, they would put the plate on this side here, and it's really just to hang the tailpipe on this side. Also, and I showed in the other videos as well, are the dual feed lines. It's the supply and the return. Another thing from Super Sport. 5 leaf springs, right over here. Super Sport. So this car is pretty legit as far as it being a numbers matching Super Sport. I had the original title to this car from the owner. This car, I believe, came from Arizona. That's why the frame rails and the rockers were so mint. And the front frame, it's so clean, it's super, super clean. It really is the right car to restore. So when my buddy called me up, I waited a few days, and I knew what was going to happen with this car. Somebody was going to buy this car, take the interior, take the body panels, probably strip the front cowl tag off of it and the VIN number, and just throw the rest of the car away. Whether they buy a Dynacore, however they want to do it. There's a lot of guys out there that do things that they're not supposed to. We know it, we've seen it, and we've heard about it. So I didn't want that to happen to this car. I wanted to be able to get this car back together as close to original as I could. So here we are. So it ended up here. So I'm guessing about 3 weeks ago, maybe on or about, because I'm at day 15 and this car is pretty much done. As far as any heavy metal work. I might have to go around and finish a few little spot welds here and there, but that's about it. This car is done. So I figured I'll take today off just to bring you up to speed on what this car is and why I decided to restore this car. It's just a good little car, and hopefully, knock on wood, and I always do that, hopefully when it's all said and done, whether I keep it or sell it or whatever, it's just going to be a great car to have. So that's the story on this car. It's just a car that just sat forever. My buddy had it sitting forever. The person before him had it sitting forever. And it would have just rotted into the ground. And I just didn't want to see that happen to this car. And I didn't want to see this car get all parted out and chopped up. So that's where we are. I just wanted to bring you up to speed. If you look at the earlier videos, it kind of tells you about it. And please be kind if you look at the earlier videos. I have no idea what I was doing then. I still kind of don't have an idea what I'm doing now, but I'm learning. So just be a little bit patient with me, okay? And in the end, you'll see this car up, running, driving. Probably not painted. I don't know if I have the energy to paint it. Again, in some of the other videos, I gave myself 90 days to get this car done. The reason why I gave myself 90 days to get this car done was pretty much, I built a little street car last year, towards the end of the year, and I never had a chance to take it to the track. The track's gonna open soon, and I don't wanna miss taking that car to the track. I built a neat little street car. I'll do a little video, I'll show you that, and you'll see it for the first time going to the track. It's just, You know, I don't want to get too wrapped up in this car, but I want it to get done as right as I can make it. So that's where we are on day 15. And I'm hoping, now that the metal work is pretty much done, I'm hoping to get that motor right there up and running, that rear in the car within the next couple of days. If I get that up and running without any major issues or anything, I'm going to yank the motor out of the frame, detail the frame out, clean the motor up, detail the motor out really nice, just make it look pretty. I want it to look nice. I want it to run nice. It's getting all new everything. Shocks, brakes, it's getting everything new. So, you know, it's just, I want it to be a car that I could jump in, drive it around the way it was supposed to be driven back in 1969. And if I pass the car down the road to somebody else, I want them to have that same experience of just being able to jump in the car, click the key, start it up, and drive it away. So, listen, I appreciate you watching. I hope maybe I might have shown you something, you know, in those videos, because that actually just, it's worth more to me if I could teach maybe the little bit that I know to somebody else and help them just make it a little bit easier. And by all means, if you see something that I do that you're like, what is this guy doing? Let me know. I'm always looking to learn. I always say, if you don't learn one thing new every day, then you're an idiot, okay? Because there's always something to learn. So I'll keep you posted. I just wanted to bring you guys up to speed on what this car was and what it's going to be and where it was, which was a fire and just sitting in someone's backyard waiting to either go together or rot into the ground and get parted out. And I didn't want it to take that road. So here we are. I hope you enjoyed the video. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And take care of yourself, okay? Bye.